Hi, John Knight. Stories from the Road, Volume 2. I know I said I was going to bring other people on here. I had one more of my own I wanted to share with you. It's New Year's Eve. We're in Las Vegas. I'm working in Las Vegas. 2 shows. Good gig. And it's 2 shows, New Year's Eve. And we end the second show and we go up to do the toast. And my wife is here with me. And she shows up in the green room and says, I'm coming on stage to do the toast with you. And I kind of get the feeling that she's had more than 1 or 2 cocktails. What happened was my friend Larry, the bartender, very good friend of mine, but he thinks he's doing me a favor by putting extra alcohol into my wife's drinks. So she's kind of lit. We do the toast. After the show, we go back to my room. My friend Robert and a girl, I can't remember the girl's name. She worked at the ticket booth, young girl. And Robert had smuggled out some splits of champagne that they were giving out to the audience. And we go up to the room, and the girls have some champagne. I don't drink champagne. I haven't had any alcohol. I've done 2 shows, so I've had no alcohol. And we're drinking, they're drinking the champagne. He has glasses. We decide it's New Year's Eve. My wife's pretty happy at this point. The best thing would have been to say, hey, good night. We're just going to stay in for the evening, but it's New Year's and that's not going to happen. She wants to go out. So we're dressed up. We go out. She's got a glass with champagne in it, and Happy New Year, Happy New Year. So we get on the elevator. We were in the back tower at the Tropicana, and we get on the elevator. I think we're on the 20th floor, and the elevator's crowded. It's New Year's Eve in Las Vegas. There's a lot of people, millions. I don't know if there's millions, hundreds of thousands of people, not all in the elevator, but we're in the elevator, and a guy comes in, and he's got black socks, sandals, and shorts on. And my wife looks at him and says, black socks and sandals, are you kidding me? What's up with that? And she gets a laugh. We're on the 20th floor. Around 15th floor, she's feeling good. She got a laugh. She says, no, seriously, what's the deal with the black socks and sandals? Well, now it's not as funny anymore. Now it's kind of getting hurtful. The 4th time she said it, I should mention the guy's about 6'6", weighs about 350 pounds. He could kick my ass. And he's starting to look at me when the 4th time she says, well, no, the black socks and sandals, that's not, I can't believe you're wearing that. Remember, it's New Year's Eve in Las Vegas. This is what, everyone else is dressed up. This is what this guy has going on. It's not a big night for him. He's starting to get pissed, and he's not going to hit her, so he's looking at me. Finally, we get off the elevator, and we're walking down. There's a long corridor, and we're going to meet our friends at the mezzanine level and watch the band from above because it's too crowded on the dance floor. So on our way there, my wife is, Happy New Year, with her champagne glass. Happy New Year. And we're walking, and we get so far along, and all of a sudden these 2 black teenage kids run up next to us. Two guys, I guess they're about 14 years old, and they run up behind us, and they want something, and what they wanted to do was tell us, hey, that lady back there, you threw champagne on her jacket, on her fur coat, and she's kind of upset. And I said to my wife, you can't. Fuck her. It's New Year's. You're supposed to have fun. Happy New Year. And I said, but you can't be doing this. You just threw champagne on a woman's fur coat. And she looks at Robert, my friend Robert, says, could you tell my husband, John, that he's a perfect fucking asshole? So we get to the mezzanine level. Now my wife's going to show me something because I have pissed her off. So we're there, and the band's playing below, people are dancing below, and there's the group that from the comedy club where I was working, and we're all together, and there's a guy down below, and he's waving up. He's waving up, but he's not, my wife thinks he's waving at her. He's waving at the girl, the ticket girl that was hanging out with us, that came up to the room with us, and but my wife thinks it's her. So she's trying to be sexy and dancing. Now, my wife Chrissy is intelligent, beautiful, she's funny, she's sexy. One quality she doesn't have, she can't dance. She can't dance. When she tries to do it, there's no coordination, no rhythm. So she's up there doing this kind of a thing, and it's hard to look at. But she thinks this guy is checking her out, and he's waving, but he's waving at this girl. He's waving at this girl, and I'm trying to explain. She goes, he likes me. He likes me. He thinks I'm beautiful, not you, asshole. And I said, no, he's waving at her. He don't know. At this moment, I realized I should probably try to get some food into her, right? So I said, let's go get something to eat. So we go downstairs. All that's in the Tropicana that's open at that time, there's a coffee shop, and there's a line down the hall, which I'm not about to wait in with her in the condition she's in. So I said, there's a food court across the street at the MGM. Let's walk. We'll go over the MGM. And on our way there, I decide, you know what? I haven't had a drink all night. Let me get a beer. And I'm only going to get a beer because I can't get heroin. I've never done heroin in my life, but at that point, if someone had come up to me and says, hey, do you want heroin? I would have said, shoot me up. Shoot me up. So we go down, and it's New Year's Eve in Vegas. Remember, it's New Year's Eve in Vegas, and we go down to this back bar, the fish bar. You can see one of the fish right behind me here. I have one of the fish from the fish bar in Vegas. We call it the fish bar. And usually we could sit there and hang out, but it's New Year's Eve in Las Vegas. So there's 5 bartenders, and there's a line that's 6, 7, 8 people deep. So I'm standing there, I'm going to wait in the line to get my drink. Well, remember, my wife thinks that everyone finds her attractive right now. She is a very attractive woman, but right now she's ugly drunk. So we're standing there, all of a sudden, she cuts to the front of the line, puts a big smile on her face, and the bartender just turns around because they're busy. They're getting drinks, and then they turn around, do the cash transaction, give the people their change. Boom, that's it. They don't know who's there. So my wife comes to the front of the line, puts a big smile on her face, and the bartender says, who's next? She says, I am. Gets us the 2 beers. Everybody wants to kill us. They want to kill us. She cut the line. She cut the line. And they're not going to beat her up. Remember this. They're not going to hit a woman. It's going to be me. And I'm trying to, I'm sorry. And I'm trying to explain to you. See that? I got waited on because he thought I was so cute. I said, you got waited on because you cut to the front of the line, and when he turned around and said, who's next, you said me. Yeah, but it's because I'm so good looking, and you don't think I'm cute. And then, so we walk up the steps from the back bar, and we get on the bridge to go over to the MGM. There's a bridge across the road. Hundreds of thousands of people jammed on the streets. We're above that, but there's still people walking back and forth. And I'm trying to tell my wife, you cut the line, you have to calm down. Calm down. And you ruined my New Year's. You ruined my New Year's, asshole. And the beers we had gotten they were selling these 22-ounce beers in souvenir plastic cups. Right? And there's people walking across the bridge in both directions. Somehow my wife says, you ruined my New Year's, throws the beer in the air. If it hits somebody, I'm dead. They're going to kick my ass. Somehow it goes in between people walking and hits a trash can. Thump. So now we walk into the MGM and she's crying. She is just tears running down her face, and I'm getting dirty looks. Remember, this I've had one sip of beer all night. We go into the MGM. Everyone's giving me dirty looks because this poor girl, this beautiful girl, is crying. And look at this monster that has ruined New Year's for her. Look at this ugly person that has done. What has he done to her? So I'm trying to get her to the food, and she's walking away. Don't touch me! Don't touch me! Don't get away from me! And everyone's looking at us. Finally, we get into the line. We go, what do you want? And we decide we'll get this pizza. We'll get some pizza, which is good. I'll get some dough on her stomach. Maybe it'll soak up the alcohol. And we're in line to get pizza. And that's when the lesbian with the knife scar on her face turns around. And she looks at my wife, and she's crying. And she looks at me, and she looks at my wife, and she looks at me, and she says, she's crying. You better do something to fix this. I'll get right on it. So that was New Year's, but the ending is pretty good. And guys, remember this. If this ever happens to you, soak it in, because it doesn't happen all the time. The next morning, we woke up and my eyes opened, and my wife actually rolled over, looked at me and says, I think I owe you an apology. Only time that ever happened. So, it wasn't that bad of a New Year. See you next week.